Module 6, Team Leadership. In the vibrant landscape of organizational management, team leadership stands out as a model that emphasizes the dynamic interaction between leaders and their teams. This chapter delves into the team leadership model, elucidates its functionality, weighs its strengths against criticisms, and examines its practical applications. The team leadership model advocates for a leader's active engagement in steering the team towards its goals while navigating the complex interplay of individual roles, relationships, and the broader organizational context. It operates on the premise that effective leadership is not about command and control, but about fostering a collaborative environment where team members can thrive and contribute to their fullest potential. Imagine a local grocery store where Liz, the team leader, encounters a pervasive issue of negative employee attitudes. By introducing gift card incentives for positive behavior, she's not merely rewarding good attitudes, she's practicing what we call goal focusing, a core concept of the team leadership model. She's aligning individual motivations with the team's objectives, thus harnessing a positive work culture. The team leadership model works through a series of well-orchestrated actions. Leaders monitor their team and external environment, identify what interventions are needed, and then take action to ensure team effectiveness. It's an ongoing process of sensing and responding, where the leader acts as both a navigator and a facilitator. Let's consider Liz's scenario. She diagnosed a problem, the negative attitudes. Her intervention was not to manage conflict directly, nor merely to facilitate decisions or satisfy needs, but to focus the team on the positive goals of customer service excellence. Her action was a textbook case of internal leadership intervention, focusing on aligning team goals with individual behaviors. The team leadership model is lauded for promoting a culture of shared responsibility, enhancing motivation, and fostering a strong sense of community. It can lead to better quality products and services, greater innovation, and a more judicious use of resources, because it leverages diverse perspectives and encourages ownership of outcomes. However, criticisms of the model often center on its perceived complexity and the demands it places on the leader. Critics argue that it may require leaders to possess a broad range of skills and to be able to commit a significant amount of time to team management. Moreover, it suggested that the model could underestimate the need for hierarchical decision-making in certain situations. Applying the team leadership model can yield insightful revelations about organizational design. For instance, when starting a new venture, such as a crop science technology company, adopting a team-based structure might seem advantageous. Research indeed indicates that such a structure can enhance product quality, boost innovation, and reduce resource waste. However, it's a misconception that this reduces the need for leadership. On the contrary, team-based organizations often require more nuanced and engaged leadership to coordinate and empower team members. Thus, when you, as a budding entrepreneur, funded by an angel investor, opt for a team-based setup, you are not diminishing the leadership role, but transforming it. The leader in a team-based organization becomes more of a facilitator who empowers others to lead within their areas of expertise. Team leadership is a multifaceted and dynamic approach that can significantly impact an organization's health and success. It is neither a silver bullet nor a simple doctrine, but a sophisticated tool that, when wielded with skill and understanding, can lead teams to achieve remarkable results. As with any model, it requires critical assessment and thoughtful application to ensure it aligns with the unique context of each team and its objectives. Whether it's in the aisles of a grocery store or the labs of a tech startup, effective team leadership is about harnessing the collective strength of individuals to forge a path towards shared success. Gender and leadership. In the study of leadership, gender plays a critical role, often influencing perceptions, styles, and effectiveness. The notion of the leadership labyrinth encapsulates the complex journey women must navigate to reach leadership positions, contending with a myriad of challenges that differ from the traditional glass ceiling. These challenges include preconceived notions about gender roles, biased evaluation of competence, and a scarcity of role models, among other social and psychological barriers. The labyrinth metaphor suggests a convoluted path with twists and turns, signifying that the journey is not impossible, but it is certainly more complex for women than for men. Analyzing this labyrinth involves understanding the societal and organizational structures that create these winding paths and sometimes dead ends. Within these structures, women and men are often evaluated differently for their leadership potential and performance, which can affect their career trajectories. Comparing and contrasting gender differences in leadership styles and effectiveness is a nuanced endeavor. Traditional theories suggested that men tended to adopt a more transactional style, characterized by formal authority and reward-based systems, while women were thought to lean towards a transformational style, emphasizing collaboration, team building, and motivational encouragement. However, recent studies suggest that the reality is far more complex and that individuals of any gender can display a range of leadership styles. In terms of effectiveness, meta-analyses have consistently shown that there are more similarities than differences between the sexes. Yet, the perception that men are more naturally suited to leadership persists, influenced by long-standing stereotypes and cultural norms. The strengths of the research on gender and leadership lie in its capacity to highlight these biases and encourage organizations to reevaluate their practices. It also shines a light on the unique strengths women bring to leadership roles, such as emotional intelligence, ethical decision-making, and inclusive leadership practices, which are increasingly recognized as critical for organizational success in a diverse and globalized world. Nevertheless, the research has its criticisms. Some argue that it reinforces binary notions of gender, oversimplifying the experiences and identities of those who do not conform to traditional gender norms. Others contend that the focus on differences, however small, can inadvertently perpetuate stereotypes and provide justification for ongoing disparities in leadership representation. Testing for applications of this research in the real world involves creating organizational cultures and policies that actively work to dismantle the barriers within the leadership labyrinth. This includes instituting mentorship programs, promoting work-life balance, and ensuring equitable evaluation and promotion processes. Such applications not only benefit women, but also create a more inclusive and effective leadership model for everyone, regardless of gender. Moreover, leadership development programs must integrate these research findings to prepare future leaders who are aware of the nuances of gender dynamics. By doing so, they can help both men and women develop the full range of leadership skills necessary for success, rather than being confined to those traditionally associated with their gender. In conclusion, navigating the leadership labyrinth requires a multifaceted approach that acknowledges both the progress made and the work still to be done. By comparing and contrasting gender differences in leadership styles and effectiveness, summarizing the strengths and criticisms of the research, and testing applications of this research, we can move towards a more inclusive understanding of leadership. This not only opens doors for a diverse array of leaders, but also enriches the organizations and societies they serve. The journey through the labyrinth may be complex, but with continued effort and scrutiny, it is one that can lead to transformative change and a redefinition of leadership for the better. Culture and leadership. In the intricate fabric of today's globalized world, culture intricately weaves its threads, coloring the patterns of leadership across a diverse spectrum. The essence of culture and leadership is not merely a backdrop, it's an active participant in the narrative of organizational life. It shapes, molds, and defines the contours of leadership behavior, thereby influencing how leaders and followers interact within and across cultural boundaries. Imagine culture as a multifaceted prism through which leadership is both viewed and practiced. Hofstede's cultural dimensions offer a lens to understand these facets, where power distance measures comfort with inequality, and individualism versus collectivism encapsulates the self versus group dynamic. Uncertainty avoidance reflects the degree to which societies tolerate ambiguity, while masculinity versus femininity captures the divide in gender roles. Long-term orientation versus short-term normative orientation explores the temporal aspect of societal values, and indulgence versus restraint represents the gratification versus control of desires. Leadership, when viewed through these dimensions, is not a static entity, but a dynamic interplay that evolves within the cultural context. A leader's effectiveness can thus be seen as contingent upon the cultural congruence between their behavior and the cultural expectations of the people they lead. Leadership behavior exhibits remarkable diversity as it dances to the tune of cultural norms. In high-power distance cultures, for example, leadership assumes a more hierarchical, top-down approach, while in low-power distance environments, a flatter, more participative style prevails. Individualistic cultures prize autonomous, innovative leadership, whereas collectivist cultures emphasize consensus and communal harmony. Understanding these cultural clusters is paramount for leaders who operate in multicultural arenas. They must adeptly shift their leadership styles, like chameleons adapting to different landscapes, to resonate with the cultural frequencies of their followers. This adaptability is not about abandoning one's authentic leadership style, but about understanding and respecting the cultural nuances that define effective leadership in diverse contexts. The scholarly pursuit to untangle the relationship between culture and leadership has yielded robust frameworks, such as the Globe Study, which expands on Hofstede's dimensions and identifies specific leadership attributes that are universally endorsed, culturally contingent, or universally rejected. This body of research offers a panoramic view of leadership across cultures, providing leaders with a compass to navigate the complex terrain of global leadership. However, this research is not without its critics. The main contention lies in the potential for cultural stereotyping and the oversimplification of complex cultural dynamics. Additionally, the rapid pace of global change and the emergence of a multicultural workforce challenge the static nature of these frameworks. Critics argue for a more fluid understanding of culture, one that recognizes its evolving nature and the interplay of global and local influences. To test the applications of culture and leadership research, one must move from theory to practice. Leaders can engage in cultural intelligence training, immerse themselves in different cultural settings, and seek feedback to understand the effectiveness of their style across cultures. This process involves a reflective practice where leaders constantly evaluate and adapt their approach, ensuring that it aligns with cultural expectations and enhances their ability to lead effectively. In organizations, the application of cultural leadership research can lead to the development of training programs that prepare leaders for cross-cultural encounters. By simulating real-world scenarios, leaders can practice and refine their cultural competencies. This also calls for organizations to create an infrastructure that supports diversity and inclusion, promoting an environment where multiple cultural perspectives are valued and leveraged for competitive advantage. The conversation about culture and leadership is ongoing and ever-evolving. It is a dialogue that requires openness, curiosity, and a willingness to embrace complexity. As leaders engage with different cultures, they learn to listen to the subtleties of cultural expressions and respond with sensitivity and intelligence. This does not mean that leaders must change their core values or who they are, but it does require an understanding that leadership is a relational activity, one that is deeply embedded in cultural contexts. In the seamless integration of culture and leadership, leaders become cultural ambassadors, bridging gaps and building connections. They recognize that leadership is not merely about influencing others, but about creating spaces where cultural diversity is seen as an asset and where the collective wisdom of multiple cultures can lead to innovative solutions and transformative change. The exploration of culture and leadership is akin to embracing a mosaic. Each piece is unique, and when combined, they create a picture greater than the sum of its parts. As we navigate the complexities of global leadership, we must be willing to continuously learn and adapt. The research on culture and leadership, while not without limitations, provides a foundational map. However, it is through application, experience, and the ongoing conversation that we truly begin to appreciate and harness the power of culture in leadership. In this journey, every leader becomes a student of cultures, and every culture offers a lesson in leadership. It is through this dynamic interplay that the future of leadership will continue to evolve, shaped by the diverse cultural dimensions that make our world rich and intriguingly complex.